So this is the video you have to watch before reading any article about the January 2023 Toronto market stats. I'm Michael Ouzas. I'm a realtor in the Greater Toronto Area. If you could drop a comment down below, I'd love to hear where your headspace is at when it comes to real estate in Toronto. If you ever want to book in a call with me to get an up-to-date analysis of what's actually been going on, book a call in the first link in the description down below. So I want to make this video to go over what I've actually been seeing on the ground level in the Toronto real estate market. This means going out and working with buyers. This means working with sellers and everything in between, listing properties and what that looks like in today's market. So the first thing to note, and this is where all those headlines are going to jump in, sales for January 2023 will be one of the lowest Januaries in over 20 years. Listings will be one of the lowest Januaries in also over 20 years. So two things to note right off the bat. Now, I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but we are undersupplied when it comes to good inventory in the areas that need it the most. Typically, the properties that are sitting right now either need a lot of work or overpriced. And what that's done is created more competition for the properties that are fully renovated and well priced. If something is renovated and well priced in today's market, it seems to be getting a lot of action, a lot of showings, and typically selling for market value. Now, when it comes to talking about selling, the other thing I've noticed is that properties that were sitting through November and December and the first part of January have seemingly been either sold conditionally or sold. That tells me that people were sitting on the sidelines for November and December and waiting to see how things played out through January, finally to the point where the Bank of Canada raised the rate again 0.25 and said they might be slowing down. Naturally will probably bring more people to the market. The next thing I'll say is that I'm finding more and more homes are priced at market value and the current market value. If it's something that's priced at market value, it's renovated nicely, it seems to be moving really well. If there's one factor that's off, either it's overpriced or not renovated, those are the properties that seem to be sitting on the market the longest. And I find that buyers tend to typically not really want to do renovations right now because loans for lines of credit to do those renovations are quite high from a borrowing percentage perspective. The list price right now has also brought upon some offer dates. And I find that those offer dates are typically in pockets where it's very desirable for people to live. And if the property is unique or well renovated and in those pockets, they are getting a lot of offers. I've seen multiple double-digit offer nights, and I'm finding that those properties are selling for at or maybe even above market value. If properties are priced fairly at market value, I have also seen some kind of competition on those particular pockets for properties. Now, having conversations with buyers, I find that typically there's two conversations I've been having. Either A, the buyers are waiting for the prices to decrease even more, or B, the buyers are just waiting on the sidelines, waiting for that perfect property to come up. Those perfect properties do come at a price. I'm finding that the perfect properties in those great areas that everybody seems to want typically are getting really good action if they have an offer date or even if they're just priced at market value. I've seen a number of homes in really great areas sell in less than a week if they're really well priced. One of the numbers that stood out to me for January, and yes, I do track them on my own, is that the detached market in that $1 million to $1.2 million range is extremely active. And what that tells me is that it may be step-up buyers that have maybe left their condo and getting into the detached market. It could be first-time buyers getting into the detached market as well. But that $1 million range, if you're below that and you don't have to put down the 20%, still seems to be extremely competitive. And just above 1 million, maybe where the down payment's coming from the sale of another property, is also ultra competitive. Prices in that $2 million range, so in the nicer areas, think Bloor West Village, think Lawrence Park, those kind of areas are still getting really good action on the really nice properties up in that price point. Toronto is Toronto. I feel like the area will persevere more than other areas outside the city who have also seen massive upticks in the first part of 2022 and then drop significantly in the latter part of 2022 and into 2023. Now, watching the market and waiting for those really good listings to start coming up at relatively good prices has actually been a challenge. If we don't start to see more inventory and competition remains out there for these nice homes, we may start seeing prices start to inch up. Now, I'm not suggesting that all the properties are going to start ramping up crazily, but keep in mind that people are buying a home, and if they intend to live there for 10 to 20 years, then they might just be sick of waiting on the sidelines and might be ready to pull the trigger to move into their actual home. That's something that I feel like doesn't get talked about enough these days, is how people buy homes to live in. Buying a home is not like playing the stock market. Lastly, I will say that we have seen activity pick up, whether it's the phones ringing, whether it's people looking to get into the market or people looking to sell. I have seen more and more activity in the last probably 3 weeks than I have in the probably last 3 months. Things always shift and things move pretty quickly when it comes to real estate, especially in the city of Toronto. Keep in mind that January 2022 was a record for a lot of things compared to today. And when they talk about pricing and they say that prices are down 15% from a year ago, those prices actually dropped in the mid part of last year and have remained relatively stable since. When it comes to sales, when they say sales are down by half or by 60%, keep in mind that those are sales and not the price point. The last point I'll make is that the news is typically a month late compared to what we're seeing on the ground level. When they start reporting on the February numbers, the first week of March, we'll already be a month past that as well. When we're on the ground, we're always ahead of what the headlines are saying because the headlines have to wait till the end of the month for the data. As we track things weekly and are in it with our clients, we feel the changes right away when it comes to the market. So I hope you found value in that video today. Leave a comment down below on what you think is going to happen moving forward if we're going to start to see more inventory. I'm Michael Ouzas. Thanks for watching.